My name is Andrew Strempke. I just finished the Grand Loop race. The Grand Loop is a 360-mile loop in western Colorado and eastern Utah. It goes on the Paradox Trail, Tabawatch Trail, and Kokopelli Trail. It makes a nice big loop. We start in Nucla, Colorado. We go through Grand Junction and Fruita and come back along the Colorado River and up into the LaSalle's. It's a rugged loop. It's a lot of like old mining roads, really loose, chunky terrain. A lot of miles are pretty slow going. I really like the terrain out here. It's tough, but it's really rewarding. The high point of the loop is right around 10,000 feet, and the low point is around 4,000 feet. This means that once you wait for the snow to melt at 10,000 feet, it's already potentially 100 degrees down at 4,000 feet. That just adds another layer of complexity to completing this loop quickly because you're guaranteed to have a variety of weather to contend with. This year was pretty hot. My Garmin was registering over 120 degrees, probably around high 90s or 100 real temperature. I was definitely feeling it when I was down by the Colorado River at 4,000 feet. So I'm going to show you the bike I brought and all the gear I brought, just to give you an idea of what it takes to go around this loop. I will say this is definitely a trimmed down race kit, and I wouldn't recommend this for anyone who's just looking to tour the route because, yeah, I didn't bring much. So I was riding a Chumba Sendero Titanium. This frame is handmade in the US in Austin, Texas, which I think is super cool. It's got big clearance. I've run in 2.6 tires and I've got quite a bit of clearance. It's got a great single speed setup with Paragon sliding dropouts, really easy to adjust. And then once you set them, they don't move. And I think just great all around geometry for a trail bike that can also, you can pedal all day long. And I have many times. I'm running NV M6 wheels. These carbon rims are handmade in Utah. They have a ratchet style hub and a nice wide profile. I've got 2.6-inch tires on those. There's a lot of sand on this route, so having extra float with a bigger tire and just extra grip, especially single speed climbing. I've got a Fox 34 fork. I've got some carbon money light bars that have a good amount of rise and 12 degrees of sweep, which I really appreciate. My hands really appreciate that sweep. I'm running Shimano crank, chain, and pedals, and Shimano brakes. For gearing, I used 3220, which I thought was just about right for this loop. For navigation, I was using an Edge 1040 Solar. I didn't have to charge it. It lasted my whole race. For lights, I was using Phoenix lights that have replaceable batteries. I've got one on my handlebars and then I had one on my helmet. As far as bags, all of my bags are dispersed bags, which I make with my wife Katie here in LaSalle, Utah. So everything is custom made for this bike. Aside from this seat is just our universal seat bag, but this is a custom full length top tube bag and a custom frame bag. So now I'll show you what I've got inside. The full top tube bag was just about entirely food. It's split up into three sections. There's baffles here that control the width of the bag. So I had different things in each section, and there's pockets along the side. I had this thing stuffed with food. Now it's mainly wrappers that are left over. There's some leftover gummies. Yeah, there's an oatmeal cream pie that just, does not sound good in the heat of the day, I guess. Carried that the whole way. I got toothbrush and toothpaste in here, just wrappers, trash. So that's the full top tube bag. In the frame bag, in here, I've got more food and also a 3-liter bladder. So most of the time I did not have this full, but the times there were stretches where I needed my full water capacity. So I would fill up this 3-liter bladder and have this in here. My full water capacity was 7 liters, and I filled that up when I left Fruita, knowing I was headed out into the heat of the Kokopelli, and I was going to be out there in the afternoon. So I brought 7 liters then, and then I think I filled up at the Colorado, and I'm pretty sure I grabbed 7 liters one more time there. But most of the time on the route, I had about 3 liters, and I just carried that on my back. And I'll show you that backpack in a second. So yeah, I've got in here. This is a this is a whole apple fritter that I don't know why I didn't eat that. It's a shame. There's a bagel. At a certain point, it was really hot at the end of the loop, and it's really hard to keep an appetite. Like I know I need to be eating, but some of that stuff is just really hard to get down when it's 100 degrees. So that was the extent of this top compartment, just water and food. Down here, I've got my repair kit, and extra batteries. So this bag just has batteries for my lights. I got a spare thing of sealant. I got a repair kit, which just has a few things: a tire lever, spare bolts, needle and thread for stitching up a sidewall, a section of chain with master links, some zip ties, a little multi-tool that is a pliers, a spare cleat with cleat bolts, a first aid kit with some band-aids, gauze, Benadryl, AT tape, some eye drops. Not much. Just some zip ties. That's the only thing left in there. So on the other side of the frame bag, we've got a non-drive side pocket. That's just a thin pocket with some internal divider pockets. So I got my hose tucked in here right now. Some more trash. Let's see, I've got my light that goes on my helmet. I like to take this off during the day to have less weight on my head. Um, got some sunscreen, Aquamira, purifying water, chain lube in a rag, Allen wrenches, my pump that also has my chain brake tucked inside here. Just one of these little wolf tooth pumps. That's just this non-drive side pocket with these small divider pockets inside. So then seat bag, I just have my extra layers. So I was wearing a sun shirt and shorts most of the time. And then in here, so this is a dry bag that goes inside of our seat bag. Um, so I got a rain jacket. I've got rain mitts, mostly for warmth. I wasn't expecting rain on this one, but always bring a rain jacket. And at the worst, it's a warm layer that I did use one morning when it was cold. Here I have my the lowers to my zip off pants. So big fan of zip offs for bike packing. I like being able to ride with comfortable pants overnight rather than just like putting on rain pants. It's not that comfortable to ride in. So yeah, zip offs, top tip. I got a spare pair of socks and an emergency bivy, just like a Mylar bivy that I was hoping to not use and I didn't use it. I did sleep, but I just laid down and put those layers on, and that was enough to keep me warm. I slept in a warm spot, but I brought this just in case of emergency. Uh, so that's everything in the seat bag. So then I've got my hydration pack here. Not much in here aside from a 3 liter bladder. It's pretty much just big enough for that. I've got some soft flasks, and then yeah, I had 3 liter bladder in here. I had some drink mix that I started with. I stored in here, and then when I left Fruta at the resupply about halfway, I had some overflow food just stuffed in here, like donuts and stuff that wouldn't fit in my top two bag. I like to have a backpack on the rougher terrain, especially when there's a lot of hike-a-bike. It's kind of nice to keep the bike a little lighter, a little more manageable to lift up the front end over rocks or whatever. This 3 liter bladder was the first one I would fill up. So a lot of stretches on the course, I only needed 3 liters. So I would just fill this one up and the one in my frame bag stand empty. So that's everything I brought with me on the race. I really like this route. It's really tough, really rugged. I think it's a great single speed route. There's a lot of climbing and just slow terrain, which gives us single speeders a chance to compete with the geared riders. It's a fairly short bike packing event, so I didn't bring, a full sleep kit. I finished the route in 2 days, 9 hours this year, which is almost the same. I finished in a little over 2 days, 8 hours last year. So we went the other direction. I guess it's about the same speed either direction, if you ask me.